Hey, Matt, did you get that Holy Grail item you were going to get last week?
Well, Kevin, I don't know if I want to confirm or deny it. Suffice it to say, you will find out at the end of the show.
All right, I guess we may as well get into the news then instead for the time being. So Holy Grail is kind of our topic for today, but we are going to look at here some things coming up in the news. We have here just released by Super7. This is part of the reaction line. I know that TMNT has all sorts of lines by all sorts of companies, but this is the reaction line. And it's instead of the other ones that were based on the action figures, those ones are based on the animated series, which I am a mark for. So those are kind of cool.
I think they listen. The packaging on the reaction to me is always like the best part of it, and obviously they are meant to be displayed, unopened, mint on card. The reaction line is one that I've never really gotten too big into. I think they look cool, but like they're still like $10-15, still have a decent price.
They're sometimes 20. Like
exactly. That's a
too
high
much for that
price tag.
size. I can't.
Exactly. And for that like lack of articulation and like the figure itself is very just like mid. Whereas the art is A+. But
you're paying for the art kind of it. I feel like you're paying for the art.
Pretty much. Like I there's a couple. I have one or two, I want to say. I think maybe just one of my guy MVP Joel Embiid. Shout out Joel. I know you're not watching this. Sixers. By the time you guys watch this, they'll probably be eliminated from the playoffs, but such is life.
He'll catch the replay. That's what he'll do.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reaction figures, it's a cool line, one that's not really for me, but I admire what they're doing, and yet another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collectible.
Just so many. But I love it. And my problem is there's so many lines I got into the best action ones, but also I got the old Playmates ones, and then I had to decide which one, and the Playmates made the cut. So if you don't make the cut, then you just got all of them, and then you are poor.
Exactly. But your soul is rich. Your inner child is fed.
I like it, but that doesn't pay the mortgage.
No, you'll be homeless.
All right. And on a good note, so let's move on to the next one. So speaking of inner child, so this is a wave that I recently kind of got on my radar, and this is the DC Superpowers. It was originally a Walmart exclusive, but recently with this last wave they released, it is actually going to be wide open. They have it available. Came for pre-order today, the 5th of May, on Entertainment Earth and also Big Bad Toy Store. So available for pre-order on there. I'm really tempted about this Batmobile. It looks pretty cool. It's only $30 US.
That's the big thing, right? With that whole line is what, like $10 figures?
$10 a pop, which is tempting. You can just you're like, oh, I'm already getting this bag of Doritos. It's like half the price.
Right, exactly. And then you're like, well, I might as well get the Batmobile if I'm going to get Batman.
Yeah, you have to. You got to have, he has to have a friend too, so you get Robin as well.
Exactly. No, I think it's like a cool figure line. I do think, like, I don't know, my personal experience, I've seen them sitting on a lot of pegs at area Walmart. So I don't know how popular they are. Maybe that's why they're expanding it to just be like a wide release instead of a Walmart exclusive.
Makes sense.
But that's just a hypothesis. But all in all, pretty cool line. It's same with the reaction, right? Like the idea of making these cheap figures, like it's cool and I like it. And it is, I'm glad that there's like a cheaper, a more affordable option, I should say, way of getting into a certain line of collectibles when like you might not be able to afford ultimates, like for example, with WWE and they're, $35-40 a figure,
Yeah, that's a lot of money. Whereas these are just, you can get 4 of them. You can get the whole wave for less than the price of one.
Or like if a kid wants them, like they're perfect for that too. Like that they work for that, but they just don't really do it for me.
So Matt, I think we're going to call an audible here. So I actually dove into this line, and this is off of Amazon. You can tell by the packaging.
That's why you don't order from. If you're a mint on card person, don't order from.
So this is the original Batman, not the Batman that was recently released, but this is the Batman here. I'll make sure we can see it. This is the Batman that from the first wave, and Superman and Darkseid did it. But I'm going to open this baby up, and we can kind of see. We were talking about, we were talking about how They weren't super posable, which they aren't probably, but I'm sure they'll look fine. Hopefully.
I'm like leaning into this so I can see it closely, like I'm Kevin Garnett and Uncut Gems.
I have to. Oh, so there's a little hole in the cape here, and I hope it's.
Ooh, it's like a claw. It's like a soft goods cape, though.
Yeah, it's soft goods. So let's, as I'm taking care
Sucker
of this,
for soft goods.
Yeah. So a little bit of
my Grail may include a soft good.
Ooh, I'm tempted now. Here's what it is. Hopefully that crackling plastic is not all up in your ears. But
I hope it is.
Did I break it?
Right in there.
I may have broken it. No, I didn't. Cool. All right, good. So he came without the cape came off, but I think it
would have been better if you did. Honestly, probably would have. We could have shorted that one.
Would have been so sad. Oh, not bad. Looks all right there. He's only articulate. Oh,
I'm impressed with the soft goods cape.
Yeah, it's got hip articulation. It's got knees. Just the swinging joints though. No rotation at all. It doesn't have elbow, but it does have shoulder. It just goes up and down. No ball joint. But it's fine. Like you said, you're paying $10, so you get what you pay for.
I'm surprised it has the knee joints.
Yeah, I am too. This is pretty solid. I am actually kind of happy with this. Cool. I might have to continue on with this, but I kind of got this just kind of tested out, and that's a dangerous rabbit hole. But I decided with these that I'm not going to get all of them because that's dangerous. Instead, I'm just going to get the Batman ones. So
I feel like if you are a bargain collector, that may be something you could either check clearance sections at Walmart's, because I have seen them on clearance. Although, in my opinion, Walmart clearance is the worst of all the clearances. Target's the best. But anyways, eBay. They're probably it's probably a line that you could probably get cheap on eBay, because there are going to be people that buy them on clearance and then flip them, and you'll still get them cheaper than retail. So definitely something to consider. Or go to your local toy store if you have one, much like we do with TNT Toys and Collectibles. Free shout out.
Yeah, free shout out. Next time, probably also free. But so I don't know if I'm going to get this I'm not going to get this Batmobile as of now, just because I don't have the real estate for it. The real estate for it.
Gotcha.
But along with this was announced Batman, which is a little different than mine. It has a lighter torso there and legs. So mine has kind of a darker color to him. Whereas the other one has that. So it's a little different coloration. Maybe looks like a different head sculpt too. This one looks a little wider, that one looks a little smaller, or thinner. But the cowl does look pretty cool. So I like it. So we got Robin to go along with it. I'm gonna have to get one of those eventually.
That's something they should do. What I'd like to see them do is do like a movie tie-in, like do a 1989 Batman, like a line of 89 Batmans with like the old school art, and then have like, you wouldn't have to have many, right? You would just do like Joker. You could even just do Joker and Batman, like if you wanted to make it a really small line.
Well, these waves are pretty small. They usually have like 3 or 4 characters in them, which is nice. It's doable.
Batman Forever, Two-Face, Riddler, Batman and Robin, right?
There you go. I think so. I've honestly never seen it. That's
what? You've never seen Batman Forever?
This is my confession here to the world. I've only ever seen
my confession.
Batman, maybe the Batman Returns, but obviously the Christian Bale ones I have seen, yes. But nothing against the 90s ones. I just never got to it.
But I mean, like, here's the thing. You were 7 years old when that movie came out, roughly, right? 7, maybe 8.
Yeah.
So you would have been prime Jim Carrey age and prime Batman age. Like, you should have been all over that movie. And it had the song "Kiss from a Rose," man. Like, that's a classic.
Yeah.
And dude, the fact that that's like a music video, the music video legit has a tie-in to Batman Forever. I'm pretty sure. Like, that's
something to investigate, I think.
I'm gonna next time we hang on, I'm gonna sit you down and make you watch Batman Forever.
It's either that or Kiss from a Rose. One of the two we're gonna watch.
I mean, one of the two. Both.
Well, so we got those two, Batman and Robin. We also have Wonder Woman, and also Aquaman. I kind of like this trident. It's pretty cool. However, they both look lifeless.
They got wee beady eyes. Oh, you're gonna buy me chicken? Yeah, they look awful, man. Yeah. Like the faces look. I mean, the Wonder Woman is emoting about as much as Gal Gadot, but like but
valid
still.
These ones where they don't have the eyes are covered. Like, this is fine.
Right.
I have nothing wrong,
yeah.
but for some reason, these look cheap and soulless, and I don't like it.
The Aquaman, me and Aquaman just made eye contact, man. That was a moment in time.
It's good. All right. Well, so yeah, that's the new Super 7. Super 7. Okay, that was Super 7. But this was the DC Superpowers. It's just a super episode. DC Superpowers. I'm still tempted as a Batmobile, but I'm not going to do it. But I'll be the Robin.
Who makes those? Sorry to put you on the spot.
McFarlane does.
It's
interesting. Just like all the other DC stuff. But this is off that old toy line that I never had. But it used to do this, and they're almost in the same scale. They're comparable. There's some that are a little taller, a little shorter, but like they're basically the same size and very similar packaging. Yeah. So also we have here, moving on to some Marvel Legends, recently announced here for pre-order on Hasbro Pulse and other places, I believe. We have Thor versus the Destroyer. Matt, you remember this from a movie in particular?
I mean, the first Thor movie.
Of course. This is not, as you can see from this Thor, this is not the Hemsworth. Hemsworth? I don't know why my brain stopped.
Hemsworth.
The Hemsworth, yes. The lovely Hemsworth brother here. Instead, it is a comic book version, but this Destroyer looks really much the same.
I would say, yeah, the Destroyer looks like I mean, because it was pretty loyal in the film, so it's pretty cool design. It's very simple, but like that's a dope.
It's cool. Like if it was a one-off, then just the Destroyer, just based on the size you can see of that, I would maybe do just straight up get that Destroyer because he looks pretty epic.
Honestly, you could pair it with a Hemsworth Thor.
Yeah.
You know, make your own, like make it instead of making a comic book Thor, you could make it a movie Thor.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's pretty cool release. I like those 2-packs. I feel like sometimes it's like a way to get us to buy something. It's like, well, here's one you don't really need another Thor, but here's a Destroyer.
Right.
And that kind of feel used. But I'm kind of okay with it sometimes if I really want it. But that says more about me than it does Hasbro. So
well, it just shows that they have trained us well.
Yes, trained us well. Indeed.
We'll lap it up.
Yes. So some Marvel Legends stuff. However, we also have some new Mattel reveals. There's a lot here, so we're going to dive in a little bit on here. But here is one that I know you're excited about.
Started.
So I remember that. So those that do not know, me and Matt knew each other growing up, went to school together, and I remember Matt had that shirt, the Viva La Raza shirt, when it was released, and yeah. And
I wish I still had that shirt.
Yeah, that was a cool shirt. But that figure looks classic. It's exactly how I remember Eddie as world champion. Ray with that the headdress is, I think that's what you would call it. The headpiece is what I'll call it. I don't want to call it the wrong thing. But that headpiece there is really cool. So those are pretty cool things. This is the box art. These are you said Walmart exclusive?
Yeah, Walmart.
Yeah, so this comes with the belt, 2 hands, 3 heads, the soft goods shirt,
and the WWE Undisputed Championship, or like the 2000
that design,
3 when he won it. Yeah, no, 4.
It was 4. It was the beginning of 4 because 4 was
that's right. Yep, it was February.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's over on SmackDown champion, but we have him along
and fully yoked Eddie.
Yes. Oh yeah. That figure even does him better justice too.
Yeah, correct.
It's a little much, but like I'll let it go. I'll let it be. But we also have Ray here, which isn't as yoked as you said. However, I think it's a fine figure there. The headpiece is really cool. I really like that entrance attire too.
Yeah.
I think it's really toyetic.
No, it's super toyetic, right? Like that's why this is
that's
why this is an ultimate. Why they chose it. They want it because Ray has a history of doing these like really awesome, elaborate outfits, especially for like big matches like WrestleMania, stuff like that. So like it's an awesome tribute and it's a great choice on their path. I've always wanted them to do like an ultimate Rey Mysterio, but it would have like different torsos and different heads, so you could like choose which mask you wanted him to have and like which tights you wanted him to have. I always thought that would be cool. Or you could do like a Ray through the times, like young Ray, middle-aged, old, and just do them like
just
in
different heads.
interchangeable way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that'd be always cool. But the fact that they're doing Ray justice and Ruthless Aggression era Ray.
Oh yeah, and that's not something we mentioned. Is that it's part of the Ruthless Aggression line? They did have, and it sounds like they kind of halted on it, but they had the Ruthless Aggression elites, and these are ultimates here.
I want those Ruthless Aggression elites. I want that Batista. I haven't been able to find it. Then they released the ultimate. They released the ultimate with the contract, which is essentially the same era.
Yeah. Well, there's some that were cool, but there's some like Booker T in the NWO gear. I'm like, why? And there were some others that it was just felt weird, and
I feel like it was just because they had to release another NWO member. They're like contractually obligated in every like Legends or throwback line to have at least one NWO character.
It's part of the Scott Hall and Kevin Nash contract from WCW in '96.
I'm waiting for Hogan's cousin. What was his name?
Are you talking about Brutus?
No.
That's not his cousin, I don't think. But
No, he had like Horace Hogan.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
He was the disciple or something. I think that was his name.
Sure.
And he was
you're deeper in the rabbit hole than I know. And
I'm sorry. I'm a WCW fan.
You're fine.
We'll get more on that later.
Indeed, we got to see how that's doing. This is the last day for the Nitro stage. If you're watching this later, you know the future. Don't tell us yet because we don't know. We'll live that life. No spoilers. But these two are pretty cool. We're excited for them. Ruthless Aggression. Let's see what else they end up with. Those Rocks and RVDs and stuff. But we have also here, these are some other elites they have. Ultimates they have. This is the Andre the Giant. And Seth Rollins, real toyetic, real nice soft goods there on that jacket and that shirt too.
That's a beauty. Like that figure is why the ultimate lines exist. Like same with the Rey Mysterio, right? Like those are the reason to me that this line exists, is to give you these like over the top, awesome, like like you would never expect to get like a soft goods version of that jacket on a figure. Like if it was an elite, at most you would get like one of those like really hard plastic ones that are impossible to get on and off. Yeah. That would be what you would get, and you'd have to be happy with it. But this way you can do like, I mean, listen, Seth Rollins' current gimmick is like, I'll say drug abuser. He's just always over the top and manic and like all over the place. And I think that you could properly do like his little like side step, like almost like a Scott Hall thing, but he kind of crouches down where he does like his screaming face. Like you could do it. You have all the parts to do that. Like that's just really cool.
Yeah, definitely real toyetic, and I'm really glad they gave Andre here. I'm really interested to see what the size looks like for this. Because it must be a big box. Yeah, it's going to be real hefty, but all those heads, 4 heads, big old Andre here. I'm wondering if the price point is going to be. I haven't seen the price point yet, but I'm interested to see if it's more or not for this Andre because it's a bigger figure. But pretty cool belt there. Nice set of hands and heads, and I'm tempted for Andre. I don't think I'm going to get Seth, but Andre is for me. What do you think?
The hand should have had like a tiny beer can in it.
Yeah,
to show how small it was.
That's a missed opportunity for them. And Mattel, if you would like to do that and send that out for people who buy that, please do that. But also send me and Matt like 10 cents for every one you send out.
Exactly.
It's Matt's idea, but I'm going to jump on it.
So you're good. Yeah, it was a team.
Teamwork makes dream work. So those are pretty cool ultimates there. We also have this one last ultimate here to talk about, and this is the Rock. And it comes with that nice tracksuit.
Yeah, the nice tracksuit. That's awesome.
From I think it was Royal Rumble when he was against Mankind after his surgery. I mean, this is a cool era for Rock. I think it's a nice fig. I would contemplate getting it, but it doesn't really match many of my rules. So
I might get it. It honestly, outside of the tracksuit, right? It's pretty much the exact same one that they did for Amazon exclusive, and that one. I was lucky enough to have just pre-ordered it because I just wanted it, thought it was cool. And at the time I was collecting all the ultimates. And it ended up being one of the most valuable ones I had. Like, I think it was at one point upwards of like 150, 200 mint on card. So for people that might have missed out on that and they don't want to pay the higher secondary market price for that one, this is your opportunity, right? It's just with the tracksuit instead of the t-shirt. I really like it. I will probably end up getting it if I find it on the shelf. That's one that I might hunt for. But yeah.
See, that's the thing with these pre-orders and the exclusives. It's like, is this going to be one of the ones that hits, and it's going to be
Right.
worth something or hard to find? Because sometimes those exclusives, it's not worth any. It's not that it's not worth anything, but you can find it anywhere because it's just no one wanted it. But it's hard to tell when that's going to hit, and you can't get every one of them.
No.
So we do have a couple elites here. This is the greatest hits of the elites with Blue Tista, Harvey Race, Seth with the Heist of the Century, Shawn Michaels. We have Undertaker there as the tag champion, and DDP, but not the DDP you want with rib tape. This is the DDP from the Stalker angle with Undertaker that potential, but ruined his career in WWE. But that's
give me rib tape.
Give me rib tape or give me death.
Or give me death. Yeah, exactly.
Or just give me rib tape. Let's avoid the death.
Please just rib tape. Rib tape with the jeans. The jeans and the rib tape. Jeans and rib tape. That is DDP.
It was announced that for the Nitro ring that if it does not go, that we will not get these characters in these clothes, like in these designs and in this apparel, for a couple of years at least. However, that doesn't mean we won't get a DDP with jeans and rib tape. So even if it doesn't go, your dream lives on forever. Thank you. So we also have, these are the defining moments. They've redone. They're in the same original packaging that the old ones had. We have Bret Hart there. We have Mankind from the Hell in a Cell. We have Cody from the Bruised Pec, and we have Shawn with the Texas tights there.
It looks like Shawn Michaels. It looks like you can see the druggy 5 o'clock shadow that he had in that era.
Yes, the hair is just like willowing too.
It's true to life. I mean, they nailed it.
Yeah, I really like. And as soon as I saw the Cody match, I thought it's an easy to do figure because it's the same thing, but just like paint on it.
Right.
So it's easy to do, and like a lot of these, I'm sure are repaint paint, except for that maybe that Mankind. I'm not sure. But overall, I think these are some cool moments. The Cody's a maybe for me, but I'm not sure about the rest. What are your thoughts?
To me, the defining moments line is the most aesthetically pleasing for mint on card collectors. I think it has the best display of any of the Mattel WWE figures. To me, it's like I'm so happy they didn't mess with the packaging because it was such a good, awesome line of packaging. The only change I think they've ever really made, the only change they've ever really made is they made it smaller, right? Like they made it like a couple inches smaller, but it didn't sacrifice anything on the figure, so I didn't really care. I think, like you said, it's an iconic design, and I'm so happy they're bringing it back. It's not a line that I've ever really dove into too much. I've had a few of them from time to time. I think I've had a couple. I had a Stone Cold and a John Cena and a couple Ric Flairs, and but it's not a line that I'm like super into. I do think they are very aesthetically pleasing though, and I will definitely be getting that Cody Rhodes. I will maybe be getting the Mankind. That might be one that I am more willing to just hunt for and try to get a good deal on. But the Cody Rhodes I will buy and I will pay retail.
It's like I'm tempted to, but also where's it going to go? Like what real estate? What am I going to take away? Because you only got so much room.
Sure. Well, but it's like the room that you will have, right? Like you got to think future Kevin.
Yes, because you could go anywhere.
This is like Back to the Future, where like you're the picture of your children in the future, they start to fade away because you didn't get the defining moments, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully I avoid the potential Back to the Future death of my future children. I kind of jumped the gun here with the post of the WCW Nitro ring, but it's here. So let's get to the sad news. So this has been slowly growing the last couple of days. Right now we're around 70-ish. It's probably gone up since I took the screenshot. But we're close. Like this is a lot closer than I thought we were going to be. But it's. I mean, you got to get another 1,500 people to want it, and that's that's a lot of money for $400 each.
Correct.
The only reason I want this is because of FOMO, and that's not a good enough reason to spend $400. So I'm not going to do that.
Right. It's gone up 13 since the last time I checked. It's at not 13%, 13 orders.
Okay.
71 now. But yeah, I'm sad it's not going to pass.
Hold on. I don't think it's not going to pass. I think that it's going to be a tough one, but I think it could still. There's a chance.
I mean, yeah, for sure. There's a chance, right? I like hand up did not pre-order it, so I'm part of the problem, but it is because of that $400 price tag. Like,
yeah,
I'm somebody that does like to collect, but I also, live on like, a regular income. I'm a working class guy. I work paycheck to pay or live paycheck to paycheck, got to pay my bills. And I do try to carve out a little bit of extra money for collecting, but not enough to drop $400 on that stage. I really wish, like I was saying, I wish I could do layaway. I know they have like the pay in for thing, but like I don't really want to get involved in that stuff.
Because then you forget about it, and then
exactly. So yeah, I'm bummed. Maybe it will come through, and if it does, awesome. And then I will probably just end up having to pay some kind of secondary price when I have money. Yeah. Whenever I finally get money, I guess I'll just scrounge up, and try to buy it. But I really hope it passes, because as a WCW fanboy, that thing is like the dream. It's huge. Did you see the comparison photo where they put the new generation entrance?
I did not.
Next to, oh my god, dude. Like, yeah, like it's impressive. It's ridiculous. It's like probably like 4 or 5 times the size. It's crazy.
Okay.
It's in a very impressive stage. Maybe probably the most impressive stage that's ever been done by for a wrestling figure ever.
I mean, I'm gonna have to check it out, I guess. These are the add-ons we get. So if it unlocks, you get Ray Mysterio and Scott Steiner, which hopefully gets that. Like, I don't see it getting the 7,000. Maybe once it's 5 people are just going to jump in and be like, oh, let's go.
Right.
I don't know. And then that Warrior, which isn't super exciting. I did hear that Hogan comes with a belt that they aren't going to, like WCW's heavyweight champion, that they will not do for a couple of years if it doesn't release. But that is not a selling point for me. So I don't know. It's what it is.
I really just wish they would. I know why they can't. Whatever, they price it the way they do for a reason. Like, as much as I don't like corporations, they sometimes have to price things for a reason, and that's a big item. So, but I really wish, part of me wishes they could just lower the clearance, so like from 5,000 to like 4,000, or something.
Yeah, there's some economic reason, but I understand that wish too.
Right.
Yep. So we'll see what happens with that. Go ahead and put in the comments if it did or did not pass, to tell us whether we're right or wrong. I'm voting optimistically. I don't say it will pass. Matt, do you think it's going to pass?
I like to be an optimist, and I love WCW, but I just don't see that many people forking over the $400 in the next hour and a half or whatever it is.
So that's fair. So Matt's a no, me yes. Please go ahead and write in the comments and yell at whoever was wrong. Please let us know.
Exactly. Just dunk on us. Just dunk on us.
It's an easy dunk. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Some exciting news, Matt. You at the end of the last episode were teasing about potentially getting a Grail item. I have an idea what this might be, but can you talk to us? Talk to me. Tell us what's up.
So I saw this thing from across the room. I was this is a figure that I've always had my eye on.
Was it making eyes at you?
It was. No, trust me, it was. I'm a big CM Punk fan. He's part of what got me back into wrestling, because I'd kind of fallen out of love with it in like my late teens. But then like early 20s, I started getting back into it, and it was because of CM Punk. He was the part that I was paying attention to, and specifically in that era, like 2011 was like his best in the world era. Where he changed up his theme and he ran off with the title, like Money in the Bank 2011. Like, that's a really awesome run, and there was one of the earliest elites from that line. I think it was Series 16. They had a CM Punk that came with the best in the world shirt. Now, at the time, the elites didn't really come with a ton of accessories. Like, you might get one. You would sometimes get like a one item to go with whatever the figure was. They've gotten a lot better about that. But that's just such an iconic shirt, right? Like it legitimately could be like the closest thing to like an Austin 316 for the modern era in terms of merch movers. But yeah, anyway, so I was at the Midland Comic-Con when they held that in the mall, which was awesome. And I was in TNT and I was just looking around and talking to Landon, and I saw it up on one of his top shelves. It locked eyes with me, and I was just
and the heavens opened and descended this bright light, and you could hear the angelic chorus.
And I saw the price tag on it, and it was extremely fairly priced. Like, Landon, again, free publicity from me all day. You're a good businessman, and you don't try to price gouge people, so I appreciate that.
Makes us come back more.
Exactly. Oh, for sure, you get you hooked, right? Like, first one's free, the rest will cost you. No, but he has things very fairly priced, and so I saw the price on it, and I saw the condition of the box, and I'll show it here in just a second. And I was like, I don't think I'll ever have the chance to own this figure with a box in this condition for that price ever.
And you love the minty mint. You love the minty mint.
I love mint on card. And so but I didn't want to buy it right then. I couldn't really commit to the money. So I kept returning. Like, every time I would go through the mall, I would stop at TNT. Every time I went to Target, every time I went to Target, I would like just jump into TNT really quick and look around and see if it was still there. And so finally I bit the bullet. I was like, you know what? I'm going to set aside the money, cut back on a couple things, save some money, and get it. So I went ahead and did it. And I don't regret it. And it is the best in the world CM Punk.
That is really cool. T-shirt.
Yeah. And like, as you can see, like, this not like ripped in any shape or form. It's like a little bend on the carding at the top, but like, all in all, this is like,
it's hard to get better than that.
Yeah. No, and there's no yellowing, there's no scratches on the bubble, there's no holes in anything. The shirt didn't like fall loose in the box or something. Like, no, this is an awesome condition. Elite, I mean, it's 2012, so I mean, this literally came out right after that whole run that he was on. And for me, an iconic figure and a grail. But Kevin, perchance, do you have any grails? Or a single grail?
So what do you define as a grail? Because this is a thing that is I've pondered on. What's a grail?
I think a grail can be okay. So I think like it's a big ticket item, or like something that you wouldn't normally be able to get, right? Like, you wouldn't see it in a store or like a retail store or a big box store. You wouldn't, see it out and about, and if you did, it would have a hefty price tag, and it's something that it has big value to you, whether it's not just financial, but like emotional, spiritual, nostalgia, whatever it is, has that impact on you. And I think as collectors at any given time, you probably have 2 or 3 grails, or even I would say even like 10, right? You might have like, if I found any of these, if I found, like me with the Punk, if I found one, if that was one of my grails, and if I find it in the wild at a good price, like I'll get it, but I'm not going to like go on eBay and pay the buy it now price, because I just can't afford to do that.
No. So I'm hearing it involves scarcity, and it
Mm-hmm.
involves like a desire, like a thing that you're like, you
Right.
long for. And I agree with that entire percent. 100% I agree with that. There are some groups I'm on in Facebook that some of them talk about, some people post like, this is my grail, and it's a figure that means a lot to them, and might not be super expensive. It might be under $100, but I feel like whatever is your grail is your grail. Like, if there was someone who posted that this Zeo Blue Ranger, it's definitely gone up in value lately, but it's under $100, but that's their figure. It's a figure they love. Maybe it's their favorite one. Maybe they had one just like it as a kid. So whatever reason it is, if it's your grail, it's your grail. Please let us know in the comments, what is your grail?
What's your grail?
And maybe you have the same grail as me. So I feel like I don't have like one in particular thing that is like it's calling to me or anything. I think that I don't have a Green Ranger currently, Lightning Collection,
Okay.
but I feel like I feel like something signed by Jason David Frank would be really cool, like a minty Lightning Collection in like a case, kind of thing, or something like that. I think would be.
They have to exist.
No, they do. They 100% do, and it's
Yeah.
something that I could pay a couple $100s for. Like you're going to pay at least $100, and 70 on a good day, probably around $100 though for a
Not signed, right? Or are you
not
talking
unsigned? Just
okay? I was just like signed. I would have to imagine is like
it's going to be up, but I think that that's a thing that I mean it's a thing that'd be cool. I'm not going to get it anytime soon, and I don't know
right.
when, it's something I'm searching for. But I mean, if it ever came up, it would be a conversation I have with myself.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's could be. I guess that's one. Yeah.
I gotta say just because you kind of touched on something similar, the Megazord, the old school Megazord with the Green Ranger, like the original, like the 10-inch line of figures. I think they were 10s. Those ones, if I like that mint on card, Grail.
I was thinking the same thing, but with like the original ones and that one, like the all 5.
So I had all 5 at one point. I had them and sold them. Mint on card. I will own them again someday.
One day.
That was one that I had to make decisions to make. I had to sell things. I had to trade or sell things to make a big ticket purchase, and so they were victims to that. But they will again be mine. Oh yes, they will.
So speaking of old Power Rangers, we're gonna transition to pickups unless you have any other grails you want to talk about.
No.
So we have, if you haven't yet, put your grails down in the bottom in the comments. Tell us why too if you want. Tell us maybe it has like a personal connection, or maybe like why do you want it? Let's do that. But I have a couple things I picked up. Here is one, and I got this. This is not an actual vintage one. This is part of the retro Morphin line. And this is Ninjor from, I think it was like the 3rd season. And this is one of the morphing ones. But this is I got this for a good price on Amazon. But this is not like it looks just like the carding, right? This is old school stuff, but it's newer because it's the retro morphing. Like you can kind of tell that. There's similar ones like with the auto morphing ones and retro morphing, and they've redone the sculpts and everything. So those are a little different. But this was an interesting one that kind of caught my eye, and I kind of.
Are you gonna let it breathe?
Oh yeah, I may as well, right? I gotta trying to make a lot of noise.
You ordered it from Amazon, so.
Yeah, well, exactly.
And that one looks good. That one looks good, but I'm saying
it does.
When you order from Amazon, you plan on opening it.
You plan on opening because it's probably you just plan on it being destroyed. I know I have gotten a lot that were not destroyed, but you never know. I gotta just be careful with it. That's nice. So this is very similar to the one that I'm calling.
That was much louder than the first one.
It was? Okay. Sorry.
Cheap plastic.
Ooh. Okay, so we got automorph. So it goes back to. So you know how you had the original ones, right? And you had to reload the heads once it goes away. This one will just go over and over. So they have
head rotating technology has come so far in the 30 years since those figures released.
Yeah. So this is pretty cool. I'm kind of getting into the Ninja Rangers too, so I'm looking into those and we'll see what happens with that. But this is pretty cool. I'm gonna say I'm a little underwhelmed, but this will look good with my Ninja Rangers at least. Maybe I'm working on rewatching the series, so maybe
I'm jealous of the Power Rangers collection that you have been building up.
I'm working on it. Like it's definitely nothing. It's nothing huge, and like there's so many better, but it's modest cool. And it's going piece by piece because you can't do it all at once because that's too expensive.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that's that. Do you have any other pickup? Well, you had such a big pickup. I don't expect you to have anything else.
No, I don't have anything. I did get I didn't even know it existed. I was running through Walmart the other day, getting whatever groceries or whatever, and I always stop and walk through like the figs, and I always stop and look at like the Funkos and stuff. And I am very strict on my Funko collecting because I went overboard when I first got into them. So I do like sports Funkos, and I do WWE Funkos. And so I saw that they released a Walmart exclusive American Nightmare Cody Rhodes Funko.
Ooh,
So I
that's
picked
probably
that up. It's already in my Funko case, and that thing is a tower of terror. It's on uneven ground, and if I move it the wrong way, they all come crashing down, and it
Don't
hurts
mess with
inside.
that. Don't mess with that. That's cool. It's a cool purchase. I also did the same with Funkos. I have to like be very careful which ones I get. I have like a Gohan one. I have a helmetless Green Ranger Tommy one, and I've got a Tina from Bob's Burgers. So I don't have many, but those are the ones I have.
So just heroes, just heroes.
Essentially.
That's,
and someday I'll show a picture. But my sister made this really cool stand of like half of a small guitar. So she took like the back of the guitar and like cut it in half, and then it's hard to describe, but it's really cool. I'll just post a picture on our socials at some point.
Nice.
But yeah, no, that's cool. One more thing, I got this with gift cards, which is the way to do it. So when I get gift cards, I forget about them and then eventually remember. But this is a dangerous step. This is the last one at Target. And this is what I've stepped into.
Ooh.
So this is, like I said, gift card purchase. But this is a dangerous realm I walked into.
R.I.P. I'm sorry, Kevin.
Exactly.
Sorry for your loss.
So really cool art, though. Like, I'm not opening this one right now. I may eventually, but I'm gonna hold off on that for now. But we got nice art all the way around. You open it up, and it's well. Oh, we attacked that.
Yep.
Really cool.
That's why I like the NECAs.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like them. They have the really good, like the wide open window. You can see all the accessories. You can see everything it comes with, and it has like that closure on it.
Yeah.
And from personal experience, I've had mixed results on my NECA figures not breaking at some point. So,
okay, this is my first NECA. I've never had a NECA before, so this is my first.
Your first.
Yeah, pop my NECA cherry. But the thing about this one, which had me a little hesitant, is the wings are as tall as this package. So in theory, it's going to go out like that. It's going to be I don't know what's going to happen, but this is the path I've chosen. So cool.
Walk along.
I will update you as this journey continues. But yes,
your descent into madness, more like that's just going to be.
Or is it the upward?
We'll find out. Only one way to find out, ladies and gentlemen.
Gotta keep watching. Let us know in the comments what you've gotten. Let us know the best thing you got, or just your whole haul. Have you gotten into the gargoyle stuff? Let me know how to make it so I don't use up a whole bunch of space with those wings, please. All right. Well, I'm glad you got your Grail figure. That's cool.
Yes, so am I.
It's been a good week for toys here, for collecting, for figures. So until next week, I'm Kevin.
I'm Matt.
And that's Matt. And
this is CM Punk.
That's CM Punk. Good night, CM Punk.